Welcome back to episode 11 of the Sideline Surge podcast, where two guys like us that never made it inside the white lines on a big stage talk about sports from the sidelines. Dustin, your host, and my co-host, DJ, how you doing?
Good. I've been looking forward to today. It's been on the calendar. We are officially 1 month away from college football. You're at Florida State kind of kicking us off. 11 a.m. in Dublin.
Dublin,
I'm excited.
Ireland, baby. Dublin, Ireland. You would think they're playing Notre Dame. They're not. They're playing Georgia Tech week 0, first game of the season, which, dude, I love that. Like, FSU, I've been blessed with FSU for that reason that, like, I feel like every single year they start the season off with, like, the first game or the first big game lately. Like, LSU 2 years in a row. We played first game of the season, essentially. Blocked an extra point to win the game the first time, then routed them last year to set the tone and introduce FSU to the college football landscape for that year. And then prior years too, just like Labor Day weekend, I feel like they're always kind of one of those main games that people are watching. And now they'll be the only game on. It's going to be during the day, which kind of stinks. But looking forward to that for sure. FSU's first practice started today. I'm keeping up with it all, believe me, as I do every single year. But yeah, so it's actually getting real. And the thing I like, and this is kind of like off where we were going with this podcast, but the thing I like about FSU and my fandom with this is that Mike Norvell actually gives media access to all the practices. So not only are they able to film some certain parts of practice, they're able to talk about a lot of practice. Obviously, they don't want to lose his trust. They can't say, everything. They can't talk about depth chart and this and that. But, like, they are able to really, talk about how the team's looking, right? Because a lot of people, a lot of head coaches don't even allow media access at practice. So you're just going in off of what the coaches are saying about who's performing in practice, who's doing this. So when I'm listening to an FSU podcast like I do, basically daily, I get to really feel like what this team is going to be, and it gets me even more excited.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm glad that y'all are kind of kicking the season off in a week 0 game, just with how last season ended for y'all. Like, I'm not saying that to just kind of bring that back up, but y'all are expected to, be dominant this year. So I love that y'all kind of have this week 0. Y'all do get to put y'all's kind of showcase on display in Ireland, and Georgia Tech's not a bad team. I mean, they're a solid competition. So I think it's going to be fun. I'm excited for you. So
yeah, I'm excited to kick it off for sure. I mean, we're still a month away, but I mean, it's gonna come quick. It's gonna come quick. The offseason kind of felt fast, so we'll see where it goes.
It has.
But rolling this into no game to start us off. We'll have a game to end the show if you guys do look forward to the games. But I want to do kind of a little story time for each of us. Just a quick little story of our favorite games that we've ever been to in person, no matter what sport it was. And since I'll just kick it off, since mine is FSU, I will say that. There's been a million games that I've been to that I've just absolutely loved with FSU in general. But this past year, I just happened to be in the Carolinas, where Clemson plays, probably about 2 hours away from where Clemson plays. And it happened to be the same weekend that FSU was traveling up to Clemson for their game against Clemson. And I was able to convince the wife and a couple of the buddies we were on vacation with in a cabin up there, were able to convince their significant others to be like, hey, can the boys skip out for a little bit and go to the FSU game? So we were able to. And, dude, insane. If you've never been to Death Valley, Clemson Death Valley, you need to get there. When I tell you, like, we get cheap seats, especially when we go there, right? You are sitting almost above the lights. Like, you're sitting here, the lights, or you're sitting here, and the lights are like here almost. It's actually insane. The environment, the environment's awesome. It was a day game. I think it was a noon kickoff, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it was such a close game all the way, right? FSU ends up they bring a blitz. They were either about to go down or they were down to Clemson. This is kind of in the third quarter, I believe it was. They bring a blitz, sack, fumble, 6. Huge for the momentum of the game. End up going to overtime. Keon Coleman catches the ball over the defender to win the game in OT. And not only that, but we were able to get on the field after the game. So we had a football with us. We like reenacted the catch, and we just had a good time. We were able to get on the field at Clemson, run down the hill. So it was cool. Good to see the tradition and
That's
win a game.
I was gonna say that talking is so sick though.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite games, and just last year, like I got to see that. And special season obviously ended tragically, but still was sick.
Yeah. I don't think my story is going to be able to top that. Anytime you get to rush a field is going to be fantastic, and that's awesome. But my story is actually I think it's 2013. It was a Packers game. So I'm from Texas, been in Texas most of my life. Packers were actually coming to Dallas, playing at AT&T Stadium. We had bought the tickets like as soon as the season started. I was like, I gotta go to this game. Like I was like, Packers never come to Dallas. Like I'm going. So kind of in the back, like in my backyard, basically, whatever. I go earlier that season. Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, breaks his collarbone. He's no longer the quarterback, but I'm like, I'm still going to the game. Whatever. We're still going to do it. Matt Flynn is the quarterback. This game starts off so tragically for us. We are down at halftime, 26-3.
Oh.
And I was just like, the whole time I'm just getting grilled. I'm decked out in my cheese head, my Packers jersey. Literally, I've got everything imaginable as a Packers fan. So I'm like, this is literally the worst day ever. Like, this honestly sucks. But we end up coming back 20 points in the fourth quarter behind Matt Flynn, and we end up winning. Eddie Lacy scores a touchdown 1 yard at the 1 yard line, scores a touchdown. That ties the game at 36. We kick the PAT, 37 points. That's the game.
Ooh, that's a great game.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. Down 26-3. It's like I felt like I hit an all-time low. I was just like, I wasted money on this experience. I don't know, because I mean, like, I've got everybody just chirping around me, Dallas Cowboy fans. Like, I am not having a great time. But then that third quarter hits, like, I'm still like, this is it. We're done. Whatever. 20 points in the fourth. It was electric.
Dude,
and I couldn't be happier.
Shout out Matt Flynn for the experience, huh?
Yeah, he's a legend. He's
and
a
Eddie Lacy too. Wow. That dude.
Yeah.
What a big fella that guy got, huh? I mean,
I know. And he was so clutch for us. I mean, I hate how his career ended, but that season him and James Stark, the two of them were such a duo for us. Yep. So I'm glad. It ended the way it did.
That sounds pretty awesome to me. And on the away field, just like mine, feels good. It feels good. Yeah. Although you get a lot of shit talked to you. I mean, but that's the fun thing about sports. Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're not chirping a little bit back and forth, as long as it stays friendly and it's nothing too crazy, like I'm all for. I can handle it. I like chirping a little bit too. So it's definitely makes things better, more fun.
Right.
All right, so some important games from the night before. My Red Sox blank the Rockies to get back into the win column after a 4-game skid. Tyler O'Neill hits 2 homers. I was looking at the home run leaders. Tyler O'Neill has 20 home runs. He's like 100 at-bats less than every other person with 20-plus home runs. So,
holy cow.
Pretty impressive. There was Kyle Tucker that had 19 home runs. That was kind of around that many at-bats as well. So also, pretty solid feat for him. So we'll see where he ends up. I just noticed that. I was like, man, he's like 100 less at-bats, only 70-something games compared to a lot of guys with 90-something. So it's like, that's interesting because I was feeling like, man, this guy's hitting home runs all the time. And he's kind of lower on the list than I expected. But because, he missed some games and such.
Yeah. I was about to say, and he was an interesting trade target that a lot of teams were going to be coming after, especially after the Cardinals just gave up on him. But now y'all are obviously keeping him. So I'm happy to see that he's kind of got it figured out now with y'all.
Yeah, and I hate to bring this up, but the Braves, I mean, hey, can't lose if you don't play, right?
You're
Rain
right.
delay, postponed it. I think, do you guys have a doubleheader today? I'm not sure.
Yeah, this is the second series in a row where our game one has been rained out. Our last series was versus the Cardinals. Game one rained out, doubleheader for game two. So yeah, we have a doubleheader today.
Ah,
So it's
well,
fantastic. But yeah, I did have a parlay for the Braves and the Red Sox to win, a little DGen bet. So as you just mentioned, the Red Sox go and blank the Rockies. The Braves don't play. I win my bet.
there you go.
So
There you go, baby. Yeah, so hopefully the Braves get back in the win column for you. Maybe two of them today. That'd be nice. Little 2 wins in
yeah,
one day. I mean, can't ask for much
why
more.
not?
Dude, I don't know what's going on with the MLB and flirting with the cycle right now. Lawrence Butler, one single shy of the cycle. So that's 3 days in a row where we've either had a cycle or a guy that was a single away from a cycle. Bobby Witt and now Lawrence Butler. If Lawrence Butler did it to me, I would have just been pissed. I'm just going to be honest with you. But can we just get away from this flirting with the cycle for a little bit? Let me breathe. I mean, I know it's a friendly bet,
Not at all.
but
I know. And it's gonna be, and the thing is like watch it not hit, and all we do this whole season is flirt. And the thing is we're knocking out the three hardest hits in baseball and not the easiest hit in baseball. And like that's the worst thing right now, is you're just teasing every single day now. So we'll see if we can triple up on it and see if we can go 3 days in a row of just a single short.
I mean, as long as we don't hit it, that's fine with me. Uh, dude, we've talked about him. It's Paul Skeens. You want to explain what happened there?
Yeah, the poor guy. I mean, not a poor guy because he's so dominant, but he did get his first loss. He unfortunately only gave up 2 earned runs through 8 1/3. They decided to take him back out there in the ninth to see if he could kind of finish it, get a complete game. Ends up having a guy on third, 1 out, and then next guy gets up, rips a single, and he ends up getting pulled from the game. It's a loss. So I don't know. I mean, it sucks, but that is his first major league career loss for him.
That's tough to come in the ninth inning too.
Yeah.
But we talked about it on the show before. Like, if that guy just gets a little bit of offense, he's gonna get a lot of wins. And sure enough, they couldn't score more than 2 runs, and he
Yep.
loses. So if the offense isn't there, and this is for any pitcher, I guess, but I mean, some pitchers aren't as dominant as Skeens. You give up 5 runs, and you need 6 runs, obviously, from your offense. But if you need 3 runs, and that's gonna guarantee you a win, right? Because Paul Skeens is the mound. Gotta find a way to get 3 runs for the kid.
It's kind of like the Jacob DeGrom effect. I feel like whenever he was with the Mets, every time it felt like Jacob DeGrom was pitching, the Mets could not score more
Yeah,
than 2 runs.
I
So
remember
it's
that.
like if he ended up giving up only 1 or 2 runs, it was no matter what, he was either in a no decision or up for a loss. And it's just like, man, poor guy. But I don't think he would have obviously wanted it any other way. I don't think that he cares about this loss. He's like, put me out there in the ninth and let's see if I can get through it.
Yeah.
So, and you just gotta trust that obviously your team can come up to bat and score more than 1 run throughout the game. So, but also shout out to Lance Lynn. He's now the sixth pitcher all time to have 2,000 strikeouts. He did that in that game as well. So,
Wow,
yeah.
man. I mean, listen, he's gonna have plenty of chances to get a complete game, just like we talked about the no hitter. But if you're asking me, I would have put him out there for the no hitter and took him out for this game. But that's just me and me being selfish as a fan and not worrying about his arm. But what can you do?
Yeah.
The Mets are the better New York team. Mets are better than the Yankees, and it's basically just a fact at this point because they are 3-0 versus the Yankees this year, and I think they have the secret recipe. Let me tell you. Just walk Judge every time he comes up to the plate. Aaron Judge walked 3 times and then an intentional walk in the seventh to start the game. So you just don't let him hit, and you can beat the Yankees. I think we're starting to find out the meta to beat this loaded Yankees roster.
Honestly, I mean, the Judge had more walks than either team had points, and I think that's exactly how you limit this team from winning. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, and then the one at bat that seems like they challenge him, they strike him out looking. He doesn't know whether to swing or take the walk.
Yeah.
So why not?
Just don't let Judge put bat on ball, as Gronk would say.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's definitely one way to go about it. So yeah, I mean the Mets just absolutely taking care of them. Now,
It's
Let's
good to see. I mean,
go
I,
ahead.
'cause I don't think they're going to be in the NL East anytime soon. So leader of the NL East. So I'm cool with them taking some games from the Yanks.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's pull up some daily grind fantasy. See what we have up on the tool right now. I don't think that the AI slip generator has much at the moment, but you guys know we've been talking about daily grind fantasy on every episode as we're powered by Daily Grind Fantasy. You can use code SURGE for 25% off your first month of access. But what it does is compares sportsbooks, lines, and odds directly back to PrizePicks, Underdog, Parlay Play, all your favorite DFS apps. So if you're into fantasy apps like that, highly suggest getting this tool to help you find the best value. You can see it's comparing a lot of these fantasy scores are too aggressive, especially these pitcher fantasy scores, when comparing to what these sports books would have them set to by taking into consideration the even lines for those player props that make up hitter or pitcher fantasy score on PrizePicks or Underdog. So they are a little aggressive with these projections. So the unders are Bobby Witt. Bobby Witt. I know it's a tough fade. But he's a little too high on PrizePicks. The guy's been on an absolute tear since the All-Star break. Maybe it ends today. That's kind of what we're saying here based on his even lines at those books, DraftKings and BetMGM. And so if you guys want to go ahead and get access to it, they also have the AI slip generator, but looks like there isn't that much value across the market right now. So as that happens, value will be scanned through the AI, and the AI slip generator will build out slips for you, kind of like this one on Dabble, which I'm not sure too many people use it, but if you would like to use Dabble, here's a slip for you. A lot of push potential with some of these, but a profitable slip in the long term is what you're going to get whenever you are loading up the AI slip generator at Daily Grind Fantasy. Remember, use code SURGE for 25% off Daily Grind Fantasy first month. All right. That was that. Not too much value at the very second, but some off fantasy scores.
Yeah, so something will drop soon though. We have some early games, as we mentioned. The Braves are a doubleheader today. I think first game is noon Eastern time, so something will probably be dropping anytime soon. So probably by the time you're watching this video is a really good time to be checking the market for sure.
Absolutely. Let's see. So let's talk about this. I'm gonna pull this up now too. The Mets have told teams they are unlikely to trade Pete Alonso.
That's kind of depressing.
It is. We
That's
talked
kind
about
of
we talked
depressing.
about Pete a lot. We talked about Pete where we kind of wanted to end up. My beloved Red Sox don't seem like they're gonna get him.
Yeah. Well, and it's just like there's so many teams that I would rather see him with. I feel like his time in at the Mets, like he's been there for a couple years now, and they haven't done anything at all. So it's just like I would love to see him. I love Pete Alonso. I hate that he's on the Mets just because that's a rival of the Braves. So I want to see him go elsewhere, not only for that reason, but he's such a dominant player. And it's kind of like what we were talking about with Vladdy yesterday. Like in my opinion, right now, the Mets just seem like a burning organization. Like they don't have a lot. They have a lot of money tied up to a lot of players, and it's just they still can't even win anything. So I wish he would go somewhere else. I get the idea of keeping him. He's a promising player, explosive bat. I get it. I just want to see him go elsewhere.
Look, I
Selfish.
mean, they were a burning organization until Grimace blessed that franchise. Like the first comment, I could have told them that why. Okay, that's gonna give me a stroke reading that. I could have told them that why they trade him. They just won like 30 out of the last 40 games. I get what he's saying. He did a terrible job saying it. But yeah, they've been a little bit hotter since then. And they just swept the Yankees, or at least 3 games. Up
Yeah.
next, past the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, another just super team with unlimited money apparently. Dodgers are in on Randy Arozarena. I like Randy Arozarena. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think he is a good player, having a more of a down season this year, in compared to the past few years. But I think the potential is there. I think everybody goes through a little bit of a slump. I think he's still good, and I think the Dodgers would be smart to get him. I think any team that is needing a player of his caliber right about this time, heading into the playoffs or heading into the second half of the season, would be smart to get him, especially given the upside that you've seen and know the potential is thereof. Maybe you can get him a little cheaper than if you would have tried to get him last year, etc.
I was saying, I know this contract's fairly cheap too, because I think he's on arbitration. So I think the Rays are in for less than 10 million on him right now. So like money wise, he's really cheap. He's going to cost a lot of money. Like you're saying, he is having a down season. That's going to happen. But July, actually, he's kind of started to heat up a little bit. I know, especially over like the last 3 or 4 games, he's had 5 hits. So 2 multi-game hits. So he is starting to heat up a little bit. He has a 209 batting average on the season. Not great. But again, you're going to add him to a team. And if he can essentially come in, be that's anywhere from 6 to 8 hole hitter, that's really all that you need. That's what he's going to be for this Dodgers team. He's not going to come in and be one of these top 4, top 5 guys. Like, they're going to slide him in and he's going to do fantastic.
Random Randy Arozarena story, real quick. Went to a Red Sox Rays playoff game in St. Pete, Rays home stadium, and went there with my in-laws. They are Rays fans. I'm a Red Sox fan, so that's always fun. And Randy Arozarena steals home during that game, and actually was safe. A few months later, maybe it was a year later or so, maybe a year or so later, I'm opening up a baseball pack of cards, and I get a card that is specifically Randy Arozarena stealing home plate against the Red Sox.
And you were there.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's kind of sick. Maybe I'll give it to her dad, my wife's dad. So just kind of a funny random story. So I've kind of hated him a little bit since, but he is great. He's great.
Yeah, no, he's going to be a solid addition to whatever team he goes to. So it does make sense that the Dodgers are in for that. I don't know how much he's going to cost for any team, but I do expect, again, with him being on arbitration, that's just going to that's a lot of leverage for the Rays to pull in more, because it's like, we're giving you a player that's only going to hit $8 million on your books, So because of that, it's like, we need more assets if we're giving you a guy on a discounted price.
So. See, Rays look like they might be selling, so that's it's tough. I mean, they don't have much money over there anyways, so they do a lot with little usually, which is impressive, to be honest. But
yeah, that's another guy that they're looking to get rid of too, is their starting pitcher Eflin, who's on the books for a lot, which he's going to go to probably a contender as well. Because he's a solid pitcher, but Eflin's not going to be the solution to the Rays' woes right now. So gotta offload that contract.
I missed this. What's going on with Mike Trout?
So he is trying to. He just went to his first rehab game. They kind of having him go to start at the AAA. Made it through 2 innings. Left the game with, I believe, left knee soreness. So made it through 2 innings of work. And I know that the Angels, like I've seen some stuff. Are the Angels looking at potentially trading him? Because I think that maybe they're done with this project. He's not a project by all means. I didn't mean to say that, but it's just like, it's obviously the Angels are bad. It's time to look at, moving on from certain players. Trout has been, I feel like, non-existent these last couple seasons because of all the injuries that he's had. So does somebody else kind of want to take on this risk with him? So it's unfortunate, because Mike Trout was one of the guys that he was the face of MLB for quite a while, and he's just missed out on these last couple seasons of unlucky injuries.
Yeah, that is tough. Yeah, I mean, if he could just stay healthy, it's going to be another one of those situations. What could have been if X person stayed healthy? Type of situation.
Right.
Unfortunately, it sucks, especially to see it in baseball. Like, not like a super contact sport. Not saying it's not hard. Not saying it's not gruesome on your body or anything like that. But like non-contact injuries sucks a little bit to see that happen.
Yeah.
Wanted to bring this up. A little bit random, nothing in pro sports necessarily, but Bryson DeChambeau and former President Donald Trump release a YouTube video of them trying to break 50 from the red tees, from the closest tees, I guess at one of Donald Trump's golf courses. I watched like half of the video last night, like as I was falling asleep, not to the video, but like I was just exhausted. And I was impressed. I've seen Donald Trump's like a clip of him swinging or whatever, and it kind of looks wonky or whatever. But he consistently played good that entire video from what I've seen. And the dude even solo eagled while he's playing with Bryson DeChambeau in a best ball video. So he said it in the video. He's like, he told Bryson, he was like, can you believe me and Joe got in an argument about golf? And
That's the clip that I saw of that.
so because he hit it like 7 feet on a par 3 to the pin, and then Bryson puts it outside of him, and the cameraman was like, I don't even think Bryson could beat you at this point. So it was a funny little clip, but I mean, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the video, I'm about to spoil what they shot because it got spoiled for me on Twitter. There was no spoiler alert, so I'm giving this now. Skip past this if you don't want to hear what they shot, but they shot a -22 on the AT. So I don't think that they broke 50, but they were also doing it for charity, like $10,000 to charity for birdies, and then $20,000 for every eagle. So a good cause too. But I was actually impressed. I'm not gonna lie. He legitimately looks. I seen this on Twitter, so this is kind of where I wanted to bring this up. He legitimately looks like a single-digit handicap, and that he could be winning all of these tournaments, like his club tournaments, like he has been. Like, if anybody didn't believe it, like, that video might change your mind.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I was interested to actually how good he was. I only saw probably 2 clips, but obviously it's going to be the clips where he's like had such a great shot. But the way you're making it seem is like these are consistent for him. He is just a baller.
He is. I mean, every drive was basically straight down the fairway, and then Bryson could go at the drive in the green almost every single time. And then his putting is weird though. He almost has like this like when he putts, like he almost like spins the club, like almost like he's trying to give like spin on the ball. It's none of his swings are very conventional. It's all tailored to him and whatever he likes. And hey, swing your swing. However it works.
I saw his drive. It's funky, but the 2 clips that I saw, it was straight as could be. But man, his drives were funky. I wish I could watch that.
Yeah, I have to finish the video, but yeah, it's just impressive. I'll be honest. To finish it off, I think you have a game for us.
Do so what I was gonna do for you, and this is kind of tailored for you a little bit, but I'm gonna give you 5 teams. This is based off of FanDuel's odds. Who is expected to win the ACC in college football? So again, we are a month away. I will give you these 5 teams, and then I kind of want you to give what your rankings are, where you think that these 5 teams are going to go. Not the blind ranking style. I'm just going to give you all 5 teams. So the 5 teams: NC State, Florida State, Clemson, Louisville, Miami.
Okay. So I know everybody's hyped about Miami this year. I think I could be wrong on this. I think I want to go Florida State 1, Miami 2. Then who are the next teams? Louisville, NC State, and
Clemson.
Clemson 3, Louisville 4, NC State 5.
Hey, not bad.
Oh,
all right, you ready for the
list? Come on.
Well, you got the first one right. Florida State is projected to win the ACC this year at +270. Clemson comes in at number 2 at +390. Miami at 3 +440. NC State at 4 +600. Wow. Louisville at 5 +750.
Wow. Okay, so I mixed it up a little bit.
Yeah, so you kind of mixed them up a little bit.
I'm disappointed.
But yeah, you got before. I mean, you got 2 and 3 swapped, and then 4 and 5 swapped. Yeah. So it's like you didn't do bad.
Yeah, I wanted to go, like I think Clemson. Like I don't think Miami's back. I'm not just saying that because I hate Miami, to be honest with you, as a Florida State fan. But it's just every single year they just continue to disappoint no matter what goes on. Now, they probably have their best quarterback in the past decade almost, with Cam Ward transferring to Miami. So Could they be better than what's expected? Maybe so. But I know there's a lot of hype just built up about Miami. They do have some very, very good athletes as well. They just haven't been producing with no matter who's on the roster as of late. So it's kind of like a prove it to me first type of thing. But everybody else that is an analyst of college football or very much in the college football landscape is very hype on Miami and Cam Ward and seeing what they're going to be able to do this year. So I thought that maybe the hype was going to be filtered into the odds there, and seems like Clemson, the steady rock in the ACC as of late, and they're only a year better with a young quarterback, Cade Klubnik. So we'll see where they go. I mean, he took Clemson to overtime against FSU last year. It was at their home field, but like he's just steadily getting better. So we'll see. But I didn't mention this, but DJ Uyunglele is the quarterback for Florida State now, who played at Clemson for a couple years.
Clemson.
So that'll be
Where
fun
is that
too.
game?
That's at
Where's
Florida
that?
State.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, I kind of wish that was at Clemson. Him to go back home, or his first stop. That'd have been sick.
Yeah, it'll be fun. All right, well that was good. I mean, I'm a little disappointed in myself. Haven't really kept up with too much other teams outside Florida State, and honestly, I'm just starting to get back into really diving into Florida State with the practices just starting and such. So I'm gonna learn a little bit more about the team and kind of get a feel. But I think we're gonna be good. I think that's going to be it for episode 11 of the Sideline Surge. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this. Please, if you made it this far, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And DJ, any last words?
Oh, no. I guess no more episodes for the rest of this week, just if you were expecting it. I'm going on vacation to Colorado, so we will kind of be
No, just kidding.
Kind of be split a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to meet with Dion. No, but yeah, we're going to Colorado, so I'll be back and we'll hit the ground running again on Monday.
All right. Hey, enjoy vacation. Peace.